to our week 3 of this series, 4 weeks to find balance by resetting your nervous system. My name is Dani Hopin, I'm a quantum mentor, and today I'm going to share with you another way that you can use to reset your nervous system and start bringing more balance into your life. If you haven't watched the week 1 and week 2, I invite you to do so you can understand where I'm coming from in this video. Week 1, we talked about the 3 states that our nervous system function from, and on week 2 I shared with you one exercise for each state so you can start shifting your nervous system when it's necessary. Today I want to share with you a different way to regulate your nervous system, which is co-regulation, when you are able to regulate your nervous system with somebody else, through connection, through relationship. When we are regulating our nervous system by ourselves, using tools, exercise, it takes usually 20 minutes for the nervous system to reset. When you are co-regulating with someone that you trust, that you feel safe, it takes less than 1 minute. That's how important connection and co-regulation are in our lives. We actually have a social engagement system. Physically is a connection between our heart, our face, and our voice. So what you feel in your heart is expressed through your voice and through your face. So that's explain why sometimes we cannot hide what we are feeling. You know, someone can look, or you can look to someone and perceive that something is going on because they cannot hide. So through this social engagement system, it's how we interact with other people. So by knowing how your nervous system works, by mapping out your nervous system that we learned in a week 1 and we are practicing from the week 2, you can start to identify those signs and symptoms, those characteristics in other people's behavior. So from knowing your own nervous system, you can start perceive other people's nervous system. And that's very important and very helpful in our relationships, because if you can start mapping out other people as well, you can start understanding when is the time to communicate, when is the right time to approach someone. And you can also start to identify in what state they are functioning. For example, someone that is on fight and flight mode, it's very aggressive. This person, now you know that you can say anything, but she's not gonna get it. He's not gonna get it because he's listening. It's all shut down. He's feeling that he's threatened right now. So just by knowing your own nervous system and having information that when someone is on fight and flight mode, someone is very angry, someone is on rage state, and this person physically is not able to listen to what you're gonna say, you can choose to wait until they come back, until they reset, and then express yourself, and then keep going with the discussion, for example. So that gives you actually a space to protect your nervous system, to really create boundaries of where you're gonna push yourself, knowing that this person is not able to hear you, is not able to communicate clearly with you in this state that she presents. Another example is when someone is in a depression, in a deep depression state. This person, even though mentally they know they need to wake up, exercise, eat well, they cannot do it because it's like they are immersed in this state, and they're probably releasing a lot of cortisol, which helps them to stay on this freezing mode. Even though this person knows that you love them so much, that you really want to help, but you're trying to push this person to exercise, to eat well, to get out of bed, in a way that triggers them, it won't help. It will actually make them feel worse. It will actually make them feel that they're hopeless. But if you know that when someone is in a dorsal state, they feel lonely, they don't have motivation, that is something that they cannot control, that is not about the willingness to do, but it's more about the body to be able to move, then you can come from a totally different way to approach this person. And usually when someone is in a dorsal state, to feel safe to get out, they just need to know there is someone beside them that is not judging where they are. So just by sitting maybe next to them, just keep them company without even saying anything, but come across someone that they can trust deep in their heart, that are not judging them, they feel safe and they can start to help them to get out of this state. Because always remember, someone that is in a dorsal state is someone that is completely isolated internally. Even though they can be around a lot of people, they feel isolated and they don't feel safe around people. So first, they need to feel safe to shift. So I find that really know how to mapping out the nerve system, really know to identify what triggers you, what makes you feel safe, will help you on your relationships, because then you can start applying those with others. So the two big takeaways when it's about co-regulation with others is, and the way you see your relationship and the way you relate with others, it's by mapping out your nerve system, you can start read and screen your relationships around you. And usually when we start to do that, we don't take things personally, because a lot of the times when you don't know that, when you don't have this information, and someone is in a dorsal state and they don't want to communicate with you, you start thinking that is something with you. And it's nothing with you, it's just where they are right now. So that can really save a lot of confusion, a lot of disagreement. It can also create health boundaries. You can create health boundaries when you start correlate with others through by your perception of the nerve system. The second takeaway is that how safe do you feel around others? So by knowing all that, by mapping out yourself and be able to screen others, you can start to perceive who around you do you feel safe? Who around you triggers your nerve system? And then it's about you to choose the relationships around you that really nurture your nerve system and the ones that really trigger. Who do you need to spend more time with and who do you need to spend less time with? It's not about avoiding people or eliminate people from your life, but it's about learn how to create a healthy relationship that is healthy for you, that is healthy for your nerve system. So family, for example, we have so many triggers in our family. So if someone really triggers you in your family, spend less time with them. Just keep, short conversations. You are able to shift internally to create a strong health nerve system to the point that they don't trigger you anymore. And then you can spend more time with them. So while we are rewiring our nerve system, it's all about avoiding situations, creating more space, spend time with you, feel that you are more safe. When you rewire your nervous system and you create your own boundaries naturally, you can come back to that environment. Because remember, it's not about the external environment, it's how you feel internally and how you perceive. So when you can perceive from a place that is true for you, when you can perceive from a place that it's stronger on your nervous system, you don't need to avoid certain situations anymore, because you can handle from a different way. Your perception will be changed. Again, remember, we perceive through our nervous system. So if right now you are functioning from a fight and flight mode and you start resetting that, and you are able to function from a ventral state more often than the fight and flight mode, then situations that would trigger your fight and flight mode won't trigger you as often as well, because you are balanced. So it's like you create these new pathways, this new program on your nervous system, and then things that used to trigger you, they don't trigger you anymore. So start to pay attention of situations, people around you, who triggers you and who nourishes you, who makes you feel completely yourself, that you know that you can be who you truly are. There is no judgment around you. And also start from yourself. How do you talk with yourself? Do you feel safe in your own body? Do you allow yourself to hold the space for you? All those questions can start help you to create a healthy relationships and a healthy relationship with you. The exercise for this week is awareness. Bring awareness in every situation, in every relationship that you have, and ask yourself, what signs are you sending to others through your nervous system? Are you a safe person for others as well? How do you feel around others? And co-regulation is all about playing as well. Feel joyful, because when we are enjoy the company of others is when we release a lot of oxytocin, and our nervous system needs oxytocin to feel safe. So ask yourself, who you gonna invite to play with you? Who you wanna be around more often? So let me know how you go this week, and I see you next week for our last session, where we're gonna talk about nervous system and manifestation.